under the auspices.
Speaker, which is Mr. Agissilaos Veroutis, management consultant. He will present us the secrets for the services centers in Greece. Mr. Veroutis.
Floras George. Ciao Shanghao. 我的名字是 Veroutis Agissilaos. 我很高兴来到这里. I will continue in English with your permission.
I forgot to mention that Mr. Veroutis' speech will be in English, but he speaks Chinese, not
learning,
so fluent,
not speak, learning. Thank you very much, Mr. Floras. Your Excellencies, your honors, honorable guests, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to describe to you what are the benefits of moving your service center in Greece. May I share my screen now, please?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Greece offers today a pro-business, stable and predictable environment, a very modern legal framework, and highly competitive financial incentives for the establishment of global business services, shared service centers, and back office and front office outsourcing, or BPO centers as they are known, business process outsourcing centers. I will move to the next. Why Greece? Well, first of all, location. The speakers before me have demonstrated how Greece is within 2 hours of 85 million people, or rather 500 million people, if I recall correctly. Greece has a highly qualified and experienced labor force, has a very competitive labor cost with a flexible labor market, generous investment incentives, widespread availability of quality broadband infrastructure, and competitive real estate cost. It also has an excellent climate and living conditions, and is an EU member country enjoying stability, security, and prosperity. It can also become a gateway to the European Union through the maritime route coming from China into the rest of Europe. With its culturally diverse, qualified, and experienced workforce, its multilingual university graduates available at very competitive labor cost, and the diversity of employment contracts and new forms of work, as well as its very low wage growth in Greece, it is the top destination for SSCs and business process outsourcers. What is more, Greece is well connected, easy to travel, and has appealing choices for conventional and co-working office spaces at very competitive cost. Greece has a friendly and contemporary framework for the establishment of intra-group service centers. Intra-group service centers enjoy the following benefits. They have flexibility with regards to the type of business entity which can be established, either as an office or a branch of a foreign company or a domestic company. Simple, fast, transparent licensing process through the one-stop shop service that is offered to foreign investments. The competent service for the implementation of the relevant laws is the Directorate of Foreign Capital in the Ministry of Development and Investment, which operates as a one-stop shop for receiving applications, issuing approval decisions, and defining the profit margin on cost through the National Online Information System. Legal certainty with a predefined profit margin on cost between 5 and 10% can be set separately for each company in accordance with the OECD instructions for intra-group transaction charges updated every 5 years. The documentation for the proposed profit margin requires the use of a representative comparison sample of at least 5 independent companies with similar characteristics to the established intra-group service. The submission of the necessary documentation can be done electronically. In this way, a company can stabilize its projected profit margin in cooperation with the authorities, and thus have a very predictable tax situation for the next 5 years. The submission of all the documentation is also done electronically. Obviously, residence and work permits for its foreign staff, as long as they are employed by the company, are provided, and the staff is subject to taxes only for the income that they have earned inside of Greece. Investment incentives for intra-group services include total wage costs and social security contribution subsidies for the creation of new employment in labor-intensive GBS and SSCs. The total wage cost subsidies up to 50% for new scientific personnel and technical staff, as well as subsidy for research tools and research equipment up to 50%. There is also provision of tax incentives, as was mentioned earlier also by Mr. Floras, the tax exemption of 200% of all annual R&D expenses, meaning if you are spending 100,000 euros for R&D, then you are able to deduct 200,000 euros from your profits. For intra-group service centers that provide services, which are established in Greece with the sole purpose to provide exclusively to their head offices and affiliate companies abroad and in Greece, the services of consulting, centralization of accounting, quality control for production, products, procedures, and services, preparation of studies, etc., 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 as I have outlined in this slide. The legal entities need to be granted with a special license by the Ministry of Development and Investments, determining also the profit margin on costs and services produced. Another way to stabilize the operation of a company which is investing in Greece and predict the tax requirements as well as all personnel requirements and take benefits of several incentives in grants and simplicity of operation. The relevant ministerial decision is issued within 50 calendar days from the submission of the application of the Directory of Foreign Capital. These entities can be obliged to maintain a minimum size regarding employment and operating expenses of at least 4 employees and 100,000 euros annual operating expenses in Greece to be covered via bank remittances. Greece also offers financial incentives in the form of financial grants to enable companies centralizing captive operations and achieve cost effectiveness. The investment incentives for intra-group services are designed to support the successful establishment of centralized operation centers of a meaningful size in Greece. Foreign and domestic companies may receive cumulative or alternatively different types of investment incentives in the form of non-payable cash grants, non-repayable cash grants, provided that they develop new activity, either with regard to the subject of the services provided or as to the companies to which the services are provided, which has not been practiced in Greece for the last 2 years. Until the date on which the aid application was submitted by the same or other companies of the group to which they belong. For R&D centers and software development, computer programming and information system support centers, a minimum of 30 new full-time jobs should be created. Obviously, these are very small numbers as compared to the gigantic size of several Chinese companies. For consulting services, centralized accounting, quality control of production, products, procedures, and services, as well as data processing, supply of information, storage and management of files and information, as well as several other activities, a minimum of 50 jobs should be created to take advantage of all these incentives. For contact centers and computer-based telephone information, a minimum of 100 jobs must be created. The type of incentives that are provided, firstly, for job creation subsidy grant, it is offered 50% of total wage cost up to 100 permanent full-time employees recruited in the first 5 years. For young people with less than 2 years of completing the full-time education with a degree certificate and with no regular paid employment, certified by the Hellenic Manpower Organization, OAED, or for unemployed people with no regular paid employment for the previous 6 months, according to a certificate from the Hellenic Manpower Employment Organization, and to experienced people over 50 years old, a training program subsidy grant can be provided for up to the level of 50% of the cost of training, including payment for the trainees. As well, it is provided for training expenses up to the amount of 500,000 euros as following: the trainer's personnel costs for the hours during which they participate in the training, the trainer and trainees' travel expenses, materials and supplies directly related to the training program, the cost of advisory services related to the training program, and the trainees' personnel costs in general, indirect costs related to the training program. There is also very significant CapEx subsidy in the form of grants and wage cost subsidies. 50% of the equipment and software purchase costs, as well as wage cost of any new employees who serve the new activity for up to 12 months following their recruitment, up to the amount corresponding to a gross salary of 2,000 euros per month per employee. The above costs are eligible up to 400,000 euros. Also, R&D grants are provided for foreign companies wishing to establish R&D centers in Greece for the purpose of providing research and development services that fall into one of the categories of A, industrial research, B, experimental research, and C, feasibility studies that are supported with cash grants to cover part of the following eligible costs: personnel costs, cost of building instruments and equipment to the extent and for the period used for the projects, the cost of contractual research and consulting services used exclusively for the project, and additional overheads and other operating expenses, including costs of materials, suppliers, and similar products incurred directly as a result of the project, as well as costs for feasibility studies. The maximum amount for the eligible expenses to be covered by cash grant overall or by research category and expenditure, as well as the aid intensity by the research category, will soon be determined by ministerial decision. Now, let's move to establishment of business process outsourcing centers. Greece is among the fastest growing innovators in the EU and at the heart of the European cybersecurity strategy, attracting the growing interest from global IT BPO market, offering opportunities for value-added services and innovation projects to clients and service providers. What is more, Greece offers the same comprehensive set of investment incentives in the form of financial grants to branches of foreign companies established in Greece, as well as to domestic companies, providing exclusively services of cases from A to M to companies not established in Greece. which are not necessarily headquartered or affiliated companies, as well as companies not established in Greece, but are capable of simultaneously providing the same services to businesses established also in Greece, if so provided in the ministerial decision granting the investment incentives. The company has to develop new activity in Greece with regard to the subject of the provided services, which is not practiced in Greece for the last 2 years, until the date of submission of the aid application by the same or other companies of the group to which it belongs. The minimum number of new permanent full-time jobs created by the new activity for which the aid is granted may not be less than 150 for the first year following the granting of investment incentives, and has to be maintained until the completion of 5 full management periods. In Greece, there are large-size contact centers. 847 companies offer business services to other companies in Greece. More than 120 are shared service centers, mainly call centers. Large-size contact centers with over 250 positions operate at full capacity in Greece as regional multilingual hubs, currently employing more than 20,000 highly skilled employees. Smaller size call centers with 50 to 100 positions offer services mainly to the Greek market. Customer support services are provided by, for example, Teleperformance in Greece with 6,200 employees, Cosmote eValue with 6,000 employees, Melon Group of companies 4,500 employees, and others. International business process outsourcing centers and contact centers in Greece include those of Teleperformance, where the Greek branch operates as the regional headquarters for the operations of Southeast Europe and Middle East, and in 2004 started becoming a major multilingual destination for Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, serving currently over 140 markets in 35 languages and dialects, and employing more than 6,200 people. Also, we have SAP that has set up its first global data science delivery hub in Athens. The role of the new hub will not cover just the domestic and wider geographical region, but would be the start of a further expansion of SAP's activities in Greece. Nokia Solutions and Networks also has a wholly owned subsidiary of Finnish Nokia, which has launched its new activities for Research and Development Center in Athens, creating more than 1,100 job positions. Shared service centers in accounting that are established in Greece include Naftomar, Shipping and Trading Company Limited for the oil sector, which has established its centralized accounting service center in Greece with number of employees approximating 30. Nike Elas has established centralized accounting in Greece with about 46 employees, World Gas Corporation, and others, as you can see in the slide in greater detail. Oops, let me at this time return
Is there
to the
another
screen.
slide?
No, this is the final one. Let me close by saying that the operations in Greece are in a competitive advantage as compared to most European countries, mainly because of the pro-business regulations that have been established by the government of Kyriakos Mitsotakis, with the guidance of His Excellency Minister Adonis Georgiadis, and that Greek people are very open and eager to welcome the Chinese investments in Greece as part of the Belt and Road Initiative, which I know is of strategic importance to the Chinese government and Chinese business. Mr. Floras, thank you for inviting me. Xie xie.